Hey, it's Brian Lake back with some fitness-oriented stuff that's kind of taken a feminist turn. So we've seen, no doubt you've seen over the last several years, all of these males. I remember this back in, I think it goes back as far as the late 90s. The men who started to get, I can't remember what they call them, but so what's their name, came out with the Where Have All the Cowboys Gone song. But yeah, and they even made fun of it on South Park about these men that would, go into getting facials and all this other stuff. But we've kind of progressed since then and regressed or whatever. But these instantly friend zoned guys that try their hardest to woo women and they're friends with them and everything, and they're just hoping for something, but nothing ever happens. So this is from redstate.com, and so take this with a grain of salt considering, but hey, let's just look and see what they've got to say. Science proves that even feminists prefer sexist men over woke male feminists. Merry Christmas, everyone. So this is a little old. This year we celebrate a lot of things. The birth of Christ. We can add the fact that the woke crowd is proved to be the subject of the same urges and standards despite complete denials of reality and foaming at the mouth hatred for them. According to Psychology Today, so this is reporting from something else. A couple scientists did some tests about women, and they can't seem to get on board with the woke mentality of the social justice crowd, and it seems to when it comes to how men should behave and what kind of behavior women prefer. Now, what I find this interesting is these feminist women that are complaining about male dominance and the patriarchy and all that. They also support the Muslims who are the most patriarch. I mean, you talk about a society that denigrates and imprisons women. It's in the Muslim world and in various places it's in different degrees depending where you go. But they're both out for the destruction of Western civilization. And so that's why they have a common enemy. They're both fascists, and that's what they're out for. During World War II, the Nazis and the Muslims had a common enemy, the Jews. So now they have a common enemy here, Western civilization. Scientists, and I believe that it is really a mental disorder. Palin Gould and Tom Kupfer attempted to find out what the deal was with women's preference for the bad boy alpha male mentality over the men who claim to respect and cherish women to the point of worship. What they found, according to Psychology Today, should surprise no one. Gould and Kupfer used several different related experiments in order to test why women find men with these types of behaviors to be more sexy and appealing. They found that women who saw these types of men as more attractive also saw the men as being more willing to protect and care for them, to commit to okay, but the bad boy doesn't commit to a relationship. Interestingly, though, these women weren't love-struck fools, but had their eyes open about these men. Despite being attracted to them and seeing them as good mates and partners, the women saw these males as being undermining and patronizing men who were more likely to place restrictions on the women. That feels counterproductive. The best part, it didn't matter the ideological makeup of the person. Feminists were just as likely as every other woman to prefer the sexist male as a romantic partner over her woke male counterpart. Showing that these results did replicate in different samples using different methods, and that the effect was apparently both potential mates and in work colleagues. Even in men who are not being scoped as potential intimate partners, women are more likely to see sexist men as more attractive. Women who are both more or less feminist displayed similar. Okay, delicious. To cap it off, the author of Psychology Today piece had an interesting message, seemingly direct straight at the social justice and feminist crowds. Women who find sexist men attractive are not being traitors to other women, nor are they naive women who don't understand their choices. I like that. Instead, they are women who are making rational decisions, accepting trade-offs. There should be a conjunction there, shouldn't there? They are women who recognize that it may be more beneficial to have a partner who is committed to them and willing to sacrifice for them and their family than it is to have a woke feminist man who wants them to be independent. Okay. All right. So don't you know it? The beta males that the feminists are trying to craft all men are being, to make suitable. Well, I find interesting about this is why does this help explain the low birth rates in the Western civilization? Is it that there are so few alpha males left that when women do hook up with let's say connect, I wouldn't say hook up, but get with a woke guy and marry him or whatever, they don't have children because they don't feel safe? or is it that independence that leads them to believe they cannot have a child? I don't know. And there aren't any comments. I find it very interesting, but not fully surprising. I remember 30 years ago, this guy that he's died several years ago, but he was a friend of my dad's from many years ago, back in I guess it would have been the early 70s or late 60s. But they were both retired military, and they were talking about this was when the motorcycle, the dirt biking craze was kind of becoming mainstream. And he even said the dirtier and nastier the guy riding the bike, the hotter the woman that's on his arm. And it was right. So there's that bad boy. But I guess it's also a thing where when they do genetic studies and stuff, you go back several generations. It's amazing, especially in small towns and stuff like in England or places. You'll have one guy who's 80% of the people still alive, or all come from one guy. It's just really interesting, but multiple men. Multiple women. So anyway, so what do you think? You think this is just oversimplification? I mean, it is psychology today. Look it up, see what you think. And is it science or is it something else? All right, bye. All right, are we on? Okay, good. Yeah, I know this is red state, but it's still relevant. And people, look, I'm just reporting it. I'm just passing along, and people can rip it a new one as far as I'm concerned. That's fine. They have their opinions, I mine. The idea is that we all have our own opinions, and we're allowed to express them. People can decide for themselves. Just look at the message and don't worry about the messenger. That's what I say. All right, come on, let's go. 3, 2, 1.